like, I'm fairly sure I didn't order any more books. So before I get into showing you the books that I bought this month, a little disclaimer. Well, quite a big disclaimer. There's something that feels a bit icky to me sometimes about haul videos. I don't want to come across as if I'm showing off the amount of things that I've bought, or parading in front of you things that I can buy that you can't, or how much money that I've spent on books. I am not saying with this video, and I hope you don't take this from it, that you need to be spending anything on books in order to enjoy them, in order to be a book fan, in order to be a booktuber. For me, a haul is about sharing some books that you are excited about. If that's books that you've borrowed from the library, if that's books that you've borrowed from friends, if that's books that you've gotten secondhand from charity shops, that is all part of a haul to me. You do not need to have a collection of 1,000+ books and a really fancy bookshelf in order to participate in this conversation, be part of this community. Or I hope and I believe that you shouldn't have to. One really great example is the booktuber Read with Cindy. I don't think she owns more than 5 to 10 books. She makes very entertaining videos about the books that she's borrowed, the books that she's bought and then passed on to other people or donated. Another point I wanted to highlight before starting to look at the books that I have hauled this month is to talk a bit about ethical consumerism. I believe very strongly in thinking carefully and in considering where we spend our money. When you are buying books, if you have the money to buy books, consider other avenues other than big companies like Amazon. If you didn't know, Amazon has a rating of 0 on ethicalconsumer.org's website. They are notorious for mistreating their workers, for underpaying their workers, and for their unethical business practices. They do not pay very much tax in this country at all, nowhere near the amount that they should be paying. Please take a look into the companies that you are supporting with your money, if you can. Future Siobhan here, just to say please stay tuned to the end to find out more about where you can buy books ethically. Woohoo! Okay, with that being said, let's get into the books that I hauled this month. First off, we have a couple of books that I've shown you already in my vlog videos. If you haven't checked out my vlogs, go have a look. I think they're pretty funny, particularly the second part. In one of them, we end up rescuing a dog. I know, it's weird. It was really fun. Check it out. Okay, so the first one of these is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I won't talk too much about it because I have in previous videos, but basically this is a post-apocalyptic book set after a pandemic in which a troupe of actors, said it that time, in which a troupe of actors perform Shakespeare plays in the apocalypse. Sounds fun to me, can't wait to read this one. Next, Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. This is a queer book, again set in a post-apocalyptic version of America in which the world has kind of regressed into a Wild West-esque Westworldy world where librarians are tasked with spreading propaganda across the country, but there are a band of them who are secretly queer and are spreading pro-queer messages. I'm excited about this anyway, and I've talked about this again in other videos, so take a look if you want to learn more about this one. Next, I have a book that was recommended to me. This is I, Eric Ngalle. This is the account of Eric, who emigrated from Cameroon and I believe now lives in Wales. He has lived an amazing life and lived through a lot of trauma and a lot of displacement. This is his memoir and his story. I'll give you a little bit of a taste of the synopsis. Eric Ngalle thought he was leaving Cameroon for a better life. Instead of arriving in Belgium to study for a degree in economics, he ended up in one of the last countries in the world he would have chosen to visit, Russia. Having seen his passport stolen, Eric was thrown into a hostile environment as an illegal immigrant while struggling with the betrayal that tore his family apart and prompted his exit. This painfully honest and often brutal account of being trapped in a subculture of deceit and crime gives a rare glimpse behind the headlines of a global concern. Really looking forward to getting to read this one quite soon. Next, I have a parcel to open. Right. So satisfying. Ooh. Okay. Yay, I'm excited about this one. So this is Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. I am so excited for this one. This is a queer female-female romance set in the Highlands of Scotland. You know, it's quite a common trope in YA or romance literature to have a royal prince be undercover and fall in love with a girl. Like, I'm a sucker for The Prince and I as much as anybody else. But I haven't seen a female-female version of that trope. think this is set in a Scottish boarding school, and yeah, there's a princess involved and a love story, and it just sounds lovely and wholesome and just the kind of antidote to the horror that's going on in the world right now that I need. Next. Ooh, it's a hardback. I've forgotten what I've ordered, if I'm honest with you. I've forgotten what I ordered from where, what's coming in which parcels, so I'm excited to find out what's in here as much as you are. Ooh. Right, so this is A Book of Secrets by Kate Morrison. Now, I was a little bit reluctant to buy this one in a way because it is a story that features a black character that is written by a white author, and I think it's very important right now to be reading own voices stories. But the reason why I decided to pick this up is because I am fascinated by the Elizabethan era, and it's so rarely that I see representation of people of colour in stories about that era. And there were many people that were in Britain at that time who were people of colour. This is about a story of a woman who was born in what is now Ghana and ends up rising up the ranks of British Elizabethan society. So I'm really excited to read a story like that. I've heard that this author has done a lot of research and takes the responsibility of writing about people of colour very seriously. But if you do know of any stories that feature people of colour in Elizabethan settings written by people of colour, please let me know as well, because I would love, absolutely love to read that book. Next parcel. Yes. So, staying on the Elizabethan theme, this is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Don't you hate it when bookshops put stickers on the front of books? Stickers that leave a mark when you try and take them off? That's really annoying. Look how pretty that cover is. That's just gorgeous. I had to indulge myself and get the hardback cover for this one because it's so beautiful and it's so up my street, and I'm actually angry I didn't think of this idea for a book because it is just such an obvious idea, but one that hasn't been done before somehow. I think actually there has been a theatre production called Hamnet by Dead Centre, who are a really cool theatre company. You should check them out. I haven't seen it though. I don't think this has any connection to this. I think this is an original story. But this is the imagined tale of Shakespeare's real-life son who died, whose name was Hamnet. Obviously, many have speculated that the name Hamnet is inspiration for... You can't see it right now, but my cat is going crazy, scaling the walls. What are you doing? I wish I had a second camera so I could show you. People have speculated that Hamnet is obviously the inspiration for Hamlet. So this is an imagined tale of his life. It's gold foiling. Next we have some books that I've actually borrowed from friends. I asked for your recommendations and some people have been lovely enough to actually get some books to me, so thank you very much to everyone who's lent me their books to read. First up, I have a graphic novel called Seconds by Bryan Lee O'Malley, who is the author of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, kindly lent to me by Simon. So thank you for lending me this. This is about a protagonist called Katie, who is a chef who I think goes through a breakup and some stuff happens in her life. And then something weird and magical realism-esque happens that sends her on this strange quest. And it sounds wild, it sounds quite Scott Pilgrim-esque, which I'm excited to explore. So thank you for lending me this one. And next I have two books from the Terry Pratchett's Discworld series. Now, I've never read any Terry Pratchett apart from Good Omens, which he co-wrote with Neil Gaiman. I know he's known for his quirky British humour style, strange and inventive worlds. I don't know much about the Discworld series, and I kind of don't want to know much, but I have the WeeFree Men, and I have Mort, which I think is about death, which I have heard is a popular character in this series. What a beautiful cover for this edition as well. I think this is a gorgeous edition. It says, "Death comes to us all. When he came to Mort, he offered him a job." So thank you to Seamus and Alex for lending me these. A couple of books that I wanted to mention that I picked up in ebook form. I picked up White Fragility by DiAngelo. I also picked up Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Remi Eddo-Lodge. Both of these are non-fiction books that are talking about racism in our society and how we can be more anti-racist. I've already read White Fragility and I thought it was really incisive and really useful to me to educate myself about how I can be a better anti-racist. I'm excited to read Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race because it is also written by a British author and I would love to get a British perspective on this. Additionally, on the recommendation of a couple of my friends, I've picked up Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I'm told is a really great discussion of being a black woman in America and of her life and her experiences growing up. So I'm excited to read that as well. One of the reasons I didn't buy the physical copies of these books is because it's really hard to get a hold of them right now. Every single outlet that I looked at was a long wait to receive them and I wanted to read them quickly, so I decided to get them in ebook form. It's really exciting that people are picking up these books and are learning more about this topic. I really hope that this continues and this isn't just a momentary event or a thing that people are doing temporarily, but that we see like a permanent uptick in the popularity of books by black authors and people of colour. Another book that I've got on the way is Felix Ever After by Kacen Callendar. Now, unfortunately, I had to buy this one off amazon.co.uk because it literally was not available anywhere else. The nearest library that has it is in Germany. For some reason it's not being stocked in the UK. Maybe the date for that is upcoming, but it's currently only available in hardcover form from Amazon in the UK. But I really wanted to get my hands on this book because it is the story of a black, queer, transgender person called Felix, and it's been really highly recommended by a lot of people on BookTube, including Bowties and Books and The Irish Reader, so that made me really excited to give it a go. It's a YA novel about a transgender teen coming to terms with their identity and falling in love for the first time. I really thought it was particularly important to read this one right now because it covers an intersection of a lot of identities that are being severely attacked at the moment. Obviously, as we have witnessed with the murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter protests going on in the US being cracked down on by police, as well as the attacks on transgender people coming from not only J.K. Rowling, biggest disappointment ever, JK, why? But also coming from the Trump administration cracking down severely on the rights of transgender and other LGBT people. I think is really important where we see the representation of black, queer, transgender people. Yes, yes, yes. I've also heard that this is just a really fantastic story, so I can't wait to receive this one.
5 minutes later.
Hi, forgive me for the change in setup. It's future Siobhan once more. I just received this through the post. I guess it was part of the same order, it just didn't arrive all at once. Black and British by David Olusoga. I'm so glad I've got this because this is going to give me more of a comprehensive look at Black British history.
The next day.
Siobhan, even more in the future, even more! So I have just received another parcel. And I'm like, I don't remember ordering any more books. I'm fairly sure I didn't order any more books. But then I realised, I think I know what this is. So let's see if we're right. I am right! This is Salt by Catrin Kean. Catrin actually got in touch with me to say that she had recently been published by Gomer and that she wondered if she could send me a free copy of the book to review for you guys. So thank you so much to Catrin for sending me this. And thank you to Gomer for sending this over for free. This means so much to me. This is my first book that I've been sent by a publisher to read and to review. So that's really generous. Thank you. I'll read a little bit of the synopsis for you. So there's a quote on the back actually from Caroline Duffy saying, Kean combines the talents of a born storyteller with a poet's eye in a thrilling and moving debut. A Welsh author as well. How awesome is this? Cardiff in the late 1800s is grimy, crowded and grey, and Ellen, a domestic, dreams of escaping her dreary life there for the sea. When she falls in love with Samuel, a ship's cook from Barbados, she is able to fulfill her fantasy by running away with him on a ship bound for the bright excitement of San Francisco. Life at sea is brutal and dangerous, but it is a place where they can be free until circumstances force Ellen home and the hardships of working class life and racism begin to poison their lives. Salt is based on the lives of Kean's great-grandparents who married in 1878. It is their love story. So how beautiful is that? Thank you so much to Catrin and to Gomer for sending me this. I love to read a story about Wales, a story about multicultural Wales, about Welsh Black history as well. I think I might read this week. So that comes to the end of my haul video. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about these books and you thought maybe there's some recommendations for you in there somewhere. If you enjoyed, please consider liking this, please consider subscribing and commenting on YouTube, as all of that helps with the algorithm, helps my videos get seen more widely. If you were sticking around to learn more about how to buy books ethically, here is your chance, woo! Other companies that you may not know are 100% owned by Amazon are Book Depository, Audible, and Abe Books. In a minute, I'm going to talk a bit about some alternatives that you can use if you want to. There was a scandal recently, for example, about the company Book Outlet, having a look at how these companies treat people of colour, treat minorities, what kind of selection of books are they offering? Are they offering books by black authors, people of colour? Are they supporting people of colour in terms of the people they invite to their events? The influencers that they get involved with their company. You may not know that Waterstones, who is the biggest seller of books in the UK, I think the only chain bookshop left, are notorious for treating their staff very badly in some cases. For example, at the beginning of this coronavirus crisis, they were criticised for not letting their staff have PPE in order to protect themselves from the general public, and making them work as well after many other companies had decided to shut down for the safety of their employees. So please do look into these companies, who owns them, what their business practices are like, and also what their environmental policies are. Take a look at if the publisher that you are buying the book from have a timber policy. There's more information about this on ethicalconsumer.org, which I will link down below. In this country, we're so lucky to have public libraries, although increasingly they're being shut down. Not everything is there. Often they don't have newer releases. But please, please, please take advantage of those services. A disclaimer before I get into some companies who are doing some really good things. Sometimes when you're buying from companies who are more ethical, unfortunately the price is higher for the book. And that is because more of that money is going towards the authors, the publishers. Sometimes it simply costs more money to pay your workers well and to have ethical business practices. If you have the money to support these companies, I would strongly urge you to do so. First and foremost, you should look into your local independent bookshop if you can. Google bookshops in your area. They may be doing online pickup services. They may be doing click and collect. They are your number one port of call before all of these websites. That way you're supporting a local business who will be benefiting from your money a lot more than a large company, and will also be giving proper royalties and rights to publishers and authors. So some great companies who are recommended by ethicalconsumer.org include World of Books and Oxfam, who are obviously selling second-hand books, which is better for the environment. If you want to support new releases, good alternatives include hive.co.uk, which is an Amazon alternative website. If you're looking at ebooks, have a look at ebooks.com instead of Amazon. And for audiobooks, try Scribd. Or again, there are a wide range of audiobooks and ebooks that you can get from your library through the BorrowBox apps. All the links for those will be down below. If you're here in Wales or you're looking to buy Welsh books, gwales.com, which is the Welsh Book Council's website, has a range of Welsh books by Welsh publishers and authors on there, and has a function where you can choose an independent bookshop to support. Thank you all for watching. Bye!